go to the Glass or Guest line, check in with Trysta Krick, NBA and WNBA analyst for NBC Sports, co-founder of the Daily W, and host of the Let Her Shoot and Heat Check podcast as well. Give her a follow on socials at Trysta_Krick. TK, always great seeing you. Opening night tonight, we got the defending champs in action, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are heavy favorites to go back-to-back again this year. I ask you, Trysta, who's the team in the league you think is the toughest competition for OKC this season?
I think it's Denver, and it's not really close, Peach. And a lot of casual fans aren't going to really, I guess, take into account all the moves that Denver made in the offseason. But this is a team that took OKC to 7 games and collapsed in game 5. They were up double digits going into the fourth quarter and even into the fourth quarter. And OKC found a way to win that game. So this is a team really in Denver that could have been in the championship or won a championship 3 of the last 3 years. So you have depth issues, and then you go out and you get Cam Johnson instead of Michael Porter Jr. in the trade market. I think he's going to open up this offense in a way that a lot of people don't understand that haven't watched preseason games and understand the kind of passer and cutter that Cam Johnson is. You get Tim Hardaway Jr., who's going to be providing a spark off the bench in terms of scoring and shooting. You bring Bruce Brown back, who is an integral part of their championship run. And then you find yourself a backup center, which Jokic has really never had since probably Yusuf Nurkic in Jonas Valanciunas. And that's going to provide a lot of help when he's off the court. And then you hope for the emergence of guys like De'Ron Holmes, Peyton Watson, and Christian Brown to take another step up. I think this is a team that's probably the only one primed to really knock OKC out.
Yeah, I like it right now. Denver is the second betting favorite behind OKC, plus 550 on BetMGM. T, obviously 2 teams with some Hall of Famers on it, some superstar caliber players, the Warriors and the Lakers. That's going to be the second game of tonight's doubleheader. Both interesting teams, right? First full year of Jimmy Butler in Golden State. Obviously, first full year of Luka with the Lakers. Of those 2 teams, which one would you like better throughout the season? You like Golden State or Los Angeles better?
I think probably Golden State in terms of regular season wins. You add Al Horford to this team, which I think he's old, but he does help, and you replace Kevon Looney. They found a way to make that Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond trio really work down the end of the season together. I want to say their record was 85-90% win percentage. I think they only lost 3 or 4 games. So this is a team in the regular season that's going to beat some teams up. Now, of course, the same issue that the Lakers have, the Warriors have, which is health concerns. Both of these teams have stars that are aging. But the problem with the Lakers is they already have one guy who's got sciatica, and he's probably out until December. So for me in the regular season, I would have to say the Warriors.
Looking at the Eastern Conference, it's going to be wide open this year, and we know it is. Cleveland and New York, definitely the 2 teams to beat, but Orlando, Atlanta, people are definitely intrigued by them. No Tatum this season, no Halliburton, no Damian Lillard. So, Trysta, we saw the Indiana Pacers make that great run all the way to the NBA Finals last year. If there was a team in the East this year that maybe you think could be this year's Indiana, who do you think that team could be?
Well, I don't know if this is a team that I would bet on going to the finals like Indiana did, but a team that's going to come out of nowhere and surprise people to be this year's Indiana, I think is Indiana, Peach. Nobody's talking about Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton is out for the year, and so they think losing Miles Turner and Tyrese for the year is enough of a blow for this team to be hot garbage. And I don't think that's true. You've got Ben Mathurin in a contract year. He's known all offseason that he's got to be the guy to take the scoring load. You've got Aaron Nesmith, who is a great 3-and-D guy who we saw. He just got extended 2 years, $41 million. You got Nembhard, who I think is probably the only player in the league that can really cause Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fits defensively. I don't know about the center position and what they're going to do there. Maybe you have Obi Toppin, but I think this team's going to play fast. I think this team's going to have a lot more regular season wins than maybe anyone could expect. And they were so deep to begin with. I feel like the guard position, them losing Tyrese Halliburton, hurts them a lot less than people are making it out to be.
Yeah, well said. The team, again, Indiana might just be that team once again. We're talking with Trysta Krick here on Send It In, previewing the NBA season. Trysta, who was a team last year in the NBA that did not make the playoffs, but you think could take a step up this year and maybe find themselves in the postseason?
Listen, this team's kind of weird, and they've got an interesting roster and a logjam at key positions. But I think when you just look at what Wemby has done and the weight increases that he's had and the strength increases that he's had and the height increases that he's had, this guy is looking like prime Kevin Durant mixed with Shaquille O'Neal back in the early 2000s. If he can shake players off and go to the lane the way that we saw him in the preseason, I don't know how you stop Wemby. And if he is that Giannis-like unstoppable force, and obviously they're different players, I think it's going to be hard to beat San Antonio. And then you add in Dylan Harper, who I think is going to contribute right away, Steph Castle and De'Aaron Fox. And then you hope to get more out of the role players. Obviously, you still have Harrison Barnes there as like a corner shooter. And like you hope that this team sort of finds its way in terms of the roster. I think just having Wemby alone, I think this is a team that could possibly sneak into the playoffs.
You think Wemby could be worth like an MVP bet potentially, Trysta? Like, you think?
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, we can talk about that right now. I know that was something that you were going to ask me later on in your list. But yeah, I think at 100-1, I was just talking to the whale capper about this morning, Drew Dinsick, and I didn't want to utter Wemby's name when I asked him about MVP or asked him about, that market as a whole, or even maybe regular point score. I think Wemby is going to be one of those guys that if he is as dominant as the world thinks he can become, it's only a matter of time until he's inevitable. And if Wemby is averaging 30 points per game and they're they sneak in to be a top 6, I think just from a value standpoint alone, you could take that. And I think another one in terms of MVP, since we'll stay there for just a second, and I don't know how this offense is going to look now that Mike Brown is coaching, but Jalen Brunson's usage is just insane. And I don't think that's going away. It looks like Karl Anthony Towns' contributions are uncertain. He was asked about it, and he said he's not really sure how he's going to fit in. And I know there are a lot of mouths to feed, but no one loves having the ball in their hands as much as Jalen Brunson does. And the odds for him to win MVP are enticing enough with the New York bias that if this is the number 1 team in the East and they're winning 60 games, I think it's worth at least a look.
I like it. T, so I asked you about what's the team who missed the playoffs you think could make it. You like San Antonio. What about on the flip side? Who's a team that maybe made the playoffs last year you think could miss, or even a team that was really good last year that you think might not be as good, might take a step back this year?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say this team was really good last year and they take a step back. I would say they were good, and I think they are really not a good team. The only thing that they have is a key star that's probably going to just put them on the back with an insane usage rate in Giannis. This Bucks team, Peach, have you seen this roster? This roster's disgusting. You've got Kevin Porter Jr., no shade to him, but big shade to him, as a starting point guard. Gary Trent Jr., that my Blazers would not keep around for even pennies on the dollar. Former Washington Wizards, Kyle Kuzma.
Oof.
And yeah, okay, you've got Miles Turner, but Miles Turner is not nearly the rim protector that we thought he was. He's getting older. His three-point shooting is not nearly as consistent as we saw Brook Lopez's is. I don't like this team at all, really. And it gets even worse when you look at, the second line in the depth chart. So for me, the Bucks are just going to be a horrible watch. It's going to be all Giannis all the time. And I really think that they have the chance to implode and Giannis get his way up out of Milwaukee.
T, we got 30 seconds left. 2 games tonight. OKC, Houston, Golden State, Los Angeles. Any bets for you in either of the games?
Yeah, I think Houston's live to win this one, honestly. No Jalen Williams. He had surgery on his wrist. As a 6.5-point underdog with a team as big as Houston, I think they're going to give them problems. Anything can happen in the first game of the season. They're a really good team, Houston. So I like Houston plus 6.5. That's probably my favorite bet on the board.
Love it. Trysta Krick, NBA, WNBA analyst at NBC Sports, co-founder of the Daily W, hosts the Let Her Shoot and Heat Check podcast. Make sure you check those out and check Trysta out as well at Trysta_Krick on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Twitter as well. TK, always great seeing you. Enjoy the NBA season. We'll talk again soon.
See you, Peach. Love you.